And I know that anybody can join or not join. If I don't want to do that, don't do that. But then it makes me think, am I the problem for still seeking, like actively seeking and trying to have a child in this climate, in this world? Like, just, I don't know.
I'm Erica, also known as E.MoniQue, and this is my real life. Hang out with me as I side-eye the ups and stumble through the downs. Watch as I turn my tiny piece of the Arizona desert into a tropical oasis. Fight to beat infertility and figure out where I fit as an artist in this crazy creative world. All while awkwardly discovering my authentic self. I'll be talking out loud about the things I wish someone would have said a while ago and sorting through what I wish I didn't know. Who knows? Maybe you can relate, as I often ask myself.
Nothing in this world can make me feel the way I don't even know if that's a song. Is that Mariah? Baby, I don't wanna hide. Get that out. Can't do that on the meeting. Join. Nothing in this world can make me ask to join. Okay. Okay. How about that? Let's get some sun. Why do I look so far away?
Hey,
Hi. Okay, we'll do this. Sorry, discombobulated. Thank you.
Happy birthday early.
Thank you. I did. I just read that, and thank you so much for that. I think it's a wonderful gift, and I appreciate that. Couple of not disclaimers, but I want to start off by saying, one, I don't know if it's intentional or not, or I mean, this is just how you are, but I don't know. For me, there's always a little bit of worry when I start a session, because I'm like, okay, keep it together. Make sure you like gradually don't get on here crying right away. Like, just keep it together. And then when I get on, you're always smiling, and it totally disarms everything that's going on, and it totally resets. And it's like, how can you not, start with a smile and a greeting? And I'm like, I appreciate that. It's a quick distraction to whatever is on my mind when I start. I find it funny because that's something that I think about, and then I get on and you're smiling and I'm like, girl, you're fine. Like, that's definitely true. I don't know, I've always kind of called it like I'm like an overly empathetic person, and so I hate how it's popular for people to say match my energy, because it's something that I do unintentionally very easily, that I wanted to kind of break myself from, because I don't necessarily want to match everybody's energy. But okay, I thought I was gonna get an avoidance pass for that. Like, okay, if can I just stay away from folks then and not feel? But okay. On a regular day, I prefer. Well, I don't know if I would prefer. It feels more comfortable to be in solitude rather than deal with others and whatever energies and whatever that they might bring. It's just easier to not expose myself, and that's not the best way to deal. That's how I do. I'm working. I'm doing good. I will say that I'm proud of myself for thinking ahead and choosing me first when it comes to like this whole political climate and the election. I decided to take the day after the election off, which is something that I wished I would have done not last election, but the first go round with him. And because I still live in the same neighborhood that kind of scared me and opened my eyes before, I said, you know what? I just want to feel safe in my space. I don't want to be outside. I don't want to have to encounter roller coaster emotions and energies of others. So I took the day after off, regardless of who was going to win it, because either way, people act how they want to act, and I just didn't want to be susceptible. So I stayed home, and the actual election night, I felt a little obligated to, come home and sit and watch how things were going. But as soon as I turned the TV on to watch it live, and I saw the map and how the colors were turning on the map, I started hyperventilating, and I was like, I can't do this. So it was on for all of 10 seconds, and I turned it off, and I was just like, you know what? If I can't do it, I can't do it right now, so I'm just not going to. I had the TV off all day, all night, and that worked for me because I had space for others. And it was like 4 different people were calling me all at the same time that day, and I spent the rest of the night on the phone, and I got tired, and I went to bed, and I didn't look on my phone or anything to see how it was going, and it was just like, I did my part. There isn't anything else I can do. Like, I don't want to go to bed feeling ill, and we'll just deal with the next day. And the next day, I slept as long as I could, and I started with tea and my morning routine before I picked up my phone. And then I picked up my phone for Wednesday morning Bible study, and they didn't really talk about anything, so I still didn't know what had happened. And then eventually I was like, all right, it's time for me to know what's going on in the world. And I remember how quiet it was. Not that I was necessarily expecting for people to be running down the halls and shouting outside, but it was just eerily quiet. But it was not at all a peaceful quiet. I felt like a sad quiet, like something. It was just different. And so I finally got on my phone, and I chose, instead of going to the headlines, to get on social media, which is not something that I normally would, but I figured there would be a few accounts that I trusted for entertainment purposes, and they talk about pop culture and things that are happening in the world, and I felt most like what they talk about is more relatable to me. So I figured that by their reaction or however they were responding, I would know the result. And I found out the result, and it was just like a surrealism, disbelief. And I was just like, what? Okay. And I just kind of looked, and I was like, well, and I don't know, like it was just kind of a numbness. And honestly, I feel like I had a very, very delayed reaction because after that, everybody's calling, texting, checking on me, asking how I am. And I was just like, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm okay. Like, I don't know. But by the time, when was it? So Wednesday, I was off. That very next day, Thursday, I didn't go into the office, but I had to go to a conference for all of the people in my position at a separate location. So it was an all-day meeting. And it just so happens that in my group, everybody in my position, they're all women. So it was me at a golf club all day long in a room full of women, and right after election, or the day after of the election. And I really didn't want to. Like, even though I was still not fully feeling it, I just did not want to be in that room. I didn't want to discuss it. I didn't want anybody to ask me what was going on. And I think the first thing that I felt was like an overwhelming disappointment in women, which is a new feeling for me. It's just like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, not we, but I feel like the stereotype of women overall is not being helped with what has just happened. And so it was hard for me to be in that room, but for the most part, everyone was pretty respectful not to bring it up. They did a great job of like staying on task with whatever we were there for and talked about. And I could tell there were certain personalities that were not present, understandably so. They were still like visibly affected by what was going on. And I don't know. And then what set me off was going back into my office the day after that meeting. So by now I'm out of the office for 2 days. I go into my office and there's like Thanksgiving threw up all over the office. Like, there's decor everywhere, and it's all on my desk and all around my area, which I already feel like I don't have a safe space in my office because it's so out in the open and it's so community space. So when I come, like, I'm gone for 2 seconds and he just cannot leave things alone. He can't just stop. And seeing that set me off because it was like, I just felt like I had no control over anything that was like happening in my world. And despite what the intentions were for Thanksgiving leaves all over the place, it's still my space. Like, this is my one little thing. I don't ask for much. You know I like to be left alone. You didn't put any of this stuff in your office, on your desk. And it just felt like a total defeat of me as an entire person, not just as a woman, but like me and my role and like how I'm valued at work or perceived at work, me as a woman, and I've always had this like awareness of all the minorities that is me. And right now I just feel, at least in my community, I feel so alone. I haven't been able to really express myself freely to anyone, like not even, I've tried it, and because certain people in my family are going through things themselves, I don't know where they are mentally and emotionally. I don't know if there's like layers of protection around them. So things are like hitting and bouncing back to me in a weird way that make me feel like, okay, this isn't the time, or she doesn't really know what to do with her own feelings, let alone mine. And he's not really a talker anyway, so, I threw a couple things at him, when he texts me, hey, how are you doing? And I'm like, you know what? I've been having some trouble the past few weeks, but, I'm here, with no real acknowledgement in response to that. So that part is not new to me, but I'm finding it tremendously hard to, I don't have capacity or very much empathy or space for anyone who is a non-Black person. Even if they do represent one of the minorities that I represent, I just don't want to hear about your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. I just feel like, how dare you talk to me? Feel how you want to feel. But I don't want to, I don't have space for that. I don't know what to tell you, which is infuriating also, because there are non-Black people who are expressing themselves to me, or feel the strong urge to express themselves to me, and I have nothing for them, yet they're still seemingly subconsciously asking for what to do next, by way of well, how are you feeling? What are you gonna do? It's almost like they're wanting me to say it's going to be okay, we'll get through this, and I am not gonna say that. In fact, it's upsetting to me anytime I hear someone that is non-Black, anytime they say it's going to be okay, we're all going to be okay, because fuck you, it's not going to be okay for everybody. Stop saying that. It's not. And the people who I keep hearing that come out of their mouths are white men, and it's maddening. It's maddening to me. But I'm feeling the sense that white women who voted for Vice President Harris, they want to rile up certain people. I feel like anytime I talk to a white woman, they want to rile me up, and they want to make me just as upset as they are. And I don't know what that is, but it's no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And I'm not as shook as you are, because this is how many of us have had to live and carry ourselves and go on day to day since birth. We know disappointment very well. And unfortunately, this is your first time maybe feeling a huge blow like this, being disappointed by your own kind. But figure it out. Figure it out. And just some of the comments have the same kind of neurotic energy. They just go back and forth. And this client, every time she calls, I have to brace myself, because she kind of makes me nerved up. Just the way that she speaks, and the pace and everything, just, it's a lot for me. So I have to prepare myself. And I've told her a couple times that I prefer not to discuss politics at my place of work. It's not because I don't have an opinion, or I don't have things to say, or I just, I'm not here for that. But she insists on calling, and, for a specific reason, but I have to answer the phone, and she wants to just go at it, and is very direct and asking if I'm assuming we're on the same page. We're on the same page, right? And I'm I mean, yeah. But again, I don't do this. I cannot do this right now with you. I need to be able to focus. So I've told her many times that we don't need to have this conversation. Were you born yesterday? This is nothing new for even Kamala. This is how she's had to be since birth. This is how non-white people, women, have to be in all spaces. We're exhausted. We always have to turn circles around our white counterparts for a seat at the table. So that's not new. Why are you shocked? Because this country was never built for that. I don't know why people are surprised, other than, I will admit, I feel like at least I had a lot of hope, like, damn, change is gonna happen. And I don't know if I knew that she was gonna win. I don't know if I had a strong, I hate to be that person because I would have loved it. I would have loved to see that. And I would have loved and been proud to be in a country who made that happen. But at the same time, I'm not distraught over it. Moving on, we have to think about all of the other the shit that's about to happen. That's what is terrifying to me. That's what's terrifying, and people aren't taking it seriously, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, the past has been unleashed. But so I've had a delayed reaction. That day is when I just started to lose my cool. My emotions have been, I won't say up and down, they've been pretty high. There's been a lot of fear in every aspect for me. I don't know how I'm going to be affected as a lesbian. I don't know how I'm going to be affected as a Black woman. I don't know how I'm going to be affected as a person that's struggling to conceive, and what is going to happen in the beginning of the year. And I feel like while I wanted to not force myself to start another cycle in these last 2 months, now I'm feeling like there's a possibility that I might not have the same stretch of time, or I don't know what's going to happen as far as my opportunity. So I already struggled with that, right? We've talked about that before. I've already struggled with having the strong desire to bring up a child in this world before this. Now it's even more so, how irresponsible is it and selfish to still not want to join the 4B movement? I still want to have a child. I don't know what it stands for, but there's a movement amongst women who have taken a stance to not date men, not have sex with men, not marry men, and not have children. Now, how long it's been around, but it has popped up since the election, yes. I'm feeling a lot of conflicted feelings with everything that's happening, but with that specifically, I'm like, that's kick-ass. That might be effective, right? However, it felt sharp to hear, I'm not having kids. I'm not having any more kids. I'm vowing, I'm committed to that. And while I appreciate and respect any woman's choice to do whatever they want to do per normal, and I know that anybody can join or not join. If I don't want to do that, don't do that. But then it makes me think, am I the problem for still seeking, actively seeking and trying to have a child? in this climate, in this world. Like, just, I don't know. So that's been tough. Um,
Right.
All right, so I am trying to get these videos posted from before, like early November now, and I'm running into corrupt files again. So I'm editing, and this particular video, I was checking it before posting and realized that half of it is corrupt. So this is where we're at now. You didn't miss much, honestly, and I feel like it's a sign. I talked about why I made a comment in one of the other videos about some weird dating experiences and people. And I even mentioned in the video how insignificant and how I wasn't going to go into detail about it because it was just so not important. All the more reason, right? It just disappeared, and so it's like a waste of breath. Like, why are we even bringing it up? Talked about that. I talked about Helix and Hera, my two Hoya that I have planted together. It flowered again, and of course, by now that flower has come and gone. I probably did some more planty stuff, or at least talked about it. Most likely, I talked about how Big Boy put out another leaf. Like after that big ass leaf, he put out another leaf, and that leaf is going strong. I think that's probably going to be the last leaf of the season. He's got another node thingy in the cooker, but I really can't see it growing anymore in this season. So Big Boy, he's doing pretty good. All the other plants are doing reasonable. Of course, still dealing with the mealies. I don't know what else I talked about as far as that. I went into detail about subscriptions and how they're like slowly siphoning money unnecessarily, right? So I went through my subscriptions because really it started out with like Adobe was charging me multiple times big chunks and I couldn't understand that. And then I have a bunch of little charges from like Microsoft for storage. It's OneDrop. It's not OneDrop, OneDrive and Dropbox. And then I've got like, of course, you know, Netflix, Hulu, Spotify. I didn't realize that, or I forgot that Spotify and Hulu are connected together, and Hulu is a deal when it comes to the premium Spotify. So I kept that. You know, Hulu is always the one that's on the chopping block because it just doesn't deliver consistently for me. I'll watch a couple of shows seasonally and then that's it. Like there's just nothing else on there that I'm interested in. Netflix, I couldn't understand why I was being charged so much for that. But to my amazement, there are different tiers in Netflix, and I didn't know that. And I don't have the basic tier. I pay a little bit more than double for not having ads. And while that grinds my gears, I also don't want ads on Netflix. So that didn't budge much. I was able to make some changes with my Adobe accounts. I still need to look into a couple more things. I did not have the energy at the end of the whole thing to look into all of the micro charges from Microsoft for my storage boxes, online clouds and shit. So that's to come. But what else did I talk about? Hold on. Plants, charges, insignificant experiences. What else? What is this? Oh, also insignificant, but I basically did a whole commentary on the car accident that was right outside my apartment building. Nothing new. This happens like every couple weeks or so. This is me basically just like unwinding after that week, that election week. And this is, I think, the last video of 3 that I'm like talking about it. So, you know, thanks for bearing with me. I know like the videos have been trash lately, but you know, it's me. I won't even make a promise to you right now for the sake of feeling guilty about that. I'm just, you know, it's me. Do I want it to get better? Yes. Will I try? Yes. Am I working on consistency? Yes. But, yeah. Oh, and obviously, guys, obviously it's December and I'm not doing Vlogmas. It's just not working out this year. There's going to be like holiday-ish material or like content in some of my videos, but I'm just not doing Vlogmas. I'm not feeling it. I'm not doing as much as I was doing last year. I'm not feeling the holiday spirit. I was not ready for Christmas to come so quickly. Before I know it, it's going to be the end of the year, and I just am in a season where I don't want to force anything. Yeah, I don't want to force anything. I'm not feeling the best in every aspect, not physically, not emotionally, not mentally. So that's boring, and I just don't want to talk about any more sad necessarily. So I'm not going to commit to that. So hope you understand that, hey, my Belize cutting board is a little cracky looking. That makes me upset. Anyways, so I just wanted to put that out there. This video, lucky for you, was about 49-50 minutes, and it's now cut down to 20 something because half of the videos were corrupt and I deleted them as soon as I rendered, and now they're gone. So you get a short video. Enjoy that. All right, bye.